Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career, with a little self-help along the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, people of the world. It's Philip Wilkerson back with another episode of Positive Philter. I'm joined by a special guest. Well, everyone's a special guest. And actually, this guest does not know it, but this is going to be the first episode of Season 8. We're going to start off the new year in a way of manifestation, visualization, manifestation, I don't know, all kinds of stations. But I'm joined by my colleague, Keyah Frazier, the GOAT of career services. We both are Mason alum of the counseling program. I have the good fortune of working together here at George Mason Career Services and just been someone to help me stay motivated at work and really get some things done. But Keyah came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to do a podcast." I said, "Yeah, but you are the host now. We're going to flip the seat, and Keyah is going to be driving this plane, engine, whatever car." And so go ahead, Keyah. It's your episode of your podcast.
Thank you so much, Phil, for having me back for, I think it's the third time, right?
One was the mechanical engineering podcast, right?
Yep. Well, thank you for having me back for a second time on Positive Philter. Happy New Year, everyone, 2026. Today, I want to talk about goal setting, quarterly planning, vision boards, and the theme. What is your theme of 2026?
Oh, that's the question. I thought that was like a rhetorical question. So, we talked about this this year. I never really have done a theme. Mm-hmm. And so each year I try something different. I've been doing vision boards for quite some time. I set goals. So I'm going to try something new. Mm-hmm. And so I do have a theme for the first year. It's called I Am a Connector. It's more so like an affirmation, more so like an identity that I want to hone in on for the year. So I think all the goals, all the things that I'm trying to do, it's going to be routed to how am I connecting or being a connector in those goals. It might even be just being connected to myself, reconnecting to myself. But that's the theme of the year.
Yeah. So I know a lot of times we create these vision boards and we set goals. Are you scrapping goals for 2026 with your theme? And why did you choose connector? And what kind of connections are you protecting this year?
Oh, wow. So I ain't gonna lie, the word connector wasn't one of my own words. I did the little LinkedIn year in review, and it must have just scanned all the things I talk about, and it said that my 3 words were like, was it thought leader or something like that? Podcaster, which I guess I talk about podcasts a lot, and connector. And I was like, well, I really want to resonate with that. So, I'll say that wasn't on my own accord. That was, through the LinkedIn. And, scrapping goals and stuff. I think that I'm not a person that's like new year, new me. Right. What I do is I look at each year and I think about what went well and what served me and what didn't. And so when I look at goals for last year, I'm like, I ain't trying to do that no more. It's almost like it's not a priority. Or ones that are like, man, I didn't get it. I'm still hungry for that goal, so I'll add it back. And then I'll have ones like, I didn't think about it until the end of the year, but this is a new goal. So I you're right, it's almost like, was it stay, quit? I can't remember the acronym, but when you think about what do I want to keep going? Mm-hmm. What do I want to stop doing, and what's something I want to get better at or something, thinking about that. And a few things are not as weird. At the beginning of last year, things were really important. Let me say one goal, to be an accredited Toastmaster speaker. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, that's a good goal to have. By the time I got to the end of the year, I'm like, I really don't care about that one. So I took that one off. Mm-hmm. But then other ones were like, wow, I need to take my health a little bit more serious. Mm-hmm. So that's something I added on. So that's kind of how I go about it. I use the new year not to be like, oh, New Year's resolutions. I'm more so as a strategic plan for myself, which ones are prioritized.
So with what I hear you saying is essentially like connector is your theme, but whatever falls underneath that umbrella could be anywhere from health, professional goals and things like that. And you said something that stuck out to me. This is the second time I'm hearing it. Like you didn't set a New Year's like resolutions or things like that. And I think it was yesterday for me. I heard a message, and I learned that re is Latin, right? So re means to repeat, again, repetition.
Yeah.
Right? So no New Year's resolution. Therefore, why do we run back to what didn't work in the previous year? So if you break down resolution, re-solution, so that's kind of how I came up.
Resolution.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I came up with, okay, how do I come up with my theme for the year, right? But then also, like, am I going to do... I wanted to scrap vision boards, right? And then just plan quarterly goals and things like that.
But why can't it be both? That's where I was about to say, okay.
For those of you out there listening, if you have a New Year's resolution, kudos to you. I'm not knocking
Oh,
you.
not that part, but I'm talking about the scrapping the vision board.
I think for me, I'm not saying scrap vision boards for the audience, right? But I think for me, you want to focus on what works best for you, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like staying in your own lane. If vision boards work for you, that works for you. But for me, I wanted to reframe my thinking a bit too. I'm a learner. That's one of my top 5 strengths. So when I heard that solution, I was like, okay, that makes sense. I never thought about it that way. You're looking at things at a large scale. You have you throw all these goals at a board, and it may seem overwhelming, right? So for me, I was like, let me take a step back and like plan quarterly. And we'll talk about quarterly goals. And I know you shared your theme as a connector.
But I do both. I do both and. Like that's why I said, So like for instance, this year, this is what I did this year. And I haven't, so most years I do a vision board first, like put a bunch of images on a board, and then I look at it and I say, okay, what goals come to mind from looking at these images, and then I reverse engineer it. And I have categories, I have health goals, wealth goals, professional development, etc. But like as you were saying, sometimes that's overwhelming to think about the end first. So this year I made my goals first. I'm looking at words.
Yep.
And then I'm going to make a vision board in like 2 weeks, right? With the images. But the images are not to be the originator. They're just supposed to reiterate those goals, those quarter goals. So I think that's why it's a both and. And I do like, and like, I'll be honest, I talked about vision board and goal setting. I think about it in the same way that we do our strategic plan at our office. I realize that I've become more and more, I'm a visionary. I got big goals in the sky, whatever. But I've started to appreciate very stoic, strategic thinking people. And and so what I've thought about is like, okay, we don't do a lot of things on a macro level that we do. Like, I'm contributing to a strategic plan at my office, and I have my goal that we have to hit and do that. But why don't I do that kind of same mindset for myself with like strategic planning, be a strategic plan? And I've seen a lot of people start doing it like within their home, where they have partners, their spouses, where they actually sit down with a whiteboard and actually make a strategic plan with each other. But then it becomes more real when you put it on paper. Absolutely. Right? And we have our strategic plan, which is on paper. And then I think some of the things I like about the strategic plan that we do at Career Services is
markers, if you think about it.
Benchmarks, but it's also public to hold ourselves accountable. So like if there are people out there in the world, if you want to know what our plan is, just go on our website, and we said we're going to do this, and 1, 2, 3, whatever. And so I'm starting to think like that, right? Like a lot of people say, I want to be, hold your goals close, don't share your goals with the world, people, is it like keep things private until they're successful, right? Don't show. But I was like, why not show people the progress? I'd be very transparent with my goals. I say, I told people one year, I'm going to do a TEDx. And I said it, but not only to myself, I said it out loud to the world. Yeah. But then it kept me accountable. People like, how's it going? Or what are you doing for that TEDx? Did you do this and that? How'd you like? And so I think it's a both and. I think that I'm not going to get rid of the vision board. Okay. I like the images and the visionary. Yeah. But I've also started to appreciate more so like with this grand vision you have to do day-to-day work. It has to be very organized. It has to have, I put in an Excel spreadsheet. You got to be a little nerdy. You got to track it. It has to have data and numbers like we do with our things. And so, but there's space for both. There's always space. There's space for visions and visionary, and we're gonna go to the moon. We're gonna go to Mars. But then there's someone else like, okay, wait. We're gonna go to Mars, but like, what quarterly can we do to get to Mars? Like, we need to build a spaceship. What resources do we have? And then there's the part of connection. You want to go to Mars. Who do you need to connect with to go to Mars? And so I think tying it all back in about the connector part is I got to look now at my goals, and that's where the connection piece is. Who do I need to connect with to help me with my goals? And or who do I need to connect each other with? So like, for instance, one of my goals is to grow this podcast. Well, I need to connect with guests and, connect with the guest. But then maybe I need to connect guests with each other. That, hey, I had a really good guest on my podcast. Maybe this person will be good on yours. And that will elevate my goals because they'll both listen to my podcast. So I think, I can go through each goal and see where is there a connection piece of people I need to strategically get in contact with or help others, help others as I climb. I can't do half of these goals by myself. Like, a lot of them are dependent on other people.
Yeah.
Like I put a lot of agency on myself to say, these are things I can get done. But if I look at a lot of my goals, like if no one buys in or no one helps me, then I'm not going to get them jobs. I need people. I need to connect with people to reach some of the individual goals I have for myself.
Absolutely. I like how you tied your goal setting, your vision boards, and the totality of it all back to like your role, in our office, and that makes sense for you to plan that way. I think one size doesn't fit all, so what works for you may not work for me. So for me, maybe I don't want to do the resolution, right? I think for me, mine was more so like revelation, if that makes sense. I don't want to get too churchy on here.
Okay, get churchy.
But I think for me, my theme this year, it's kind of long, but it's intentional wholeness over exhaustion.
I mean, it's a whole phrase. What, like, did you pray on it or something?
Yeah.
Or did it come to you? Like, how did it come to you?
I would say this has been on my mind since, I want to say, November of 2025, right? Thinking of the work that I'm doing, not only in my professional life, but my personal life too, right? So I never want to arrive at the finish line, empty, like completely empty, right?
Well, track star, 400 meter.
Whatever that finish line is, I don't wanna end up there empty and
fall out.
Yeah.
You remember those 400s? That shit sucked. Come to my language. So hold up. Can you do the whole phrase again?
Yeah. So intentional wholeness over exhaustion.
So holistically, intentionally, being on work, life, whatever, that's intentional, but not to the point of burnout.
Absolutely.
So like, hey, I want to make sure I take care of my physical health, but not to the point of burnout. Make sure I'm doing it. Was that coming from a place of burnout, or is like you're being avoidant of it?
No, that came from a place of active burnout last year. So some things that I remember that I'm taking note of, right, is like releasing the belief that burnout equals worth, right? And I think that comes, a lot of people, I've been asking my friends and my peers, like, who are you? Like, who are you outside of your career? When we ask somebody, who are you? They immediately degrees, immediately career. But, like, have you ever sat down and asked yourself, like, who are you, right? I think that's key, right? And then also shifting from, like, busy to meaningful, right? Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're being productive. And is the work that you're doing meaningful? I
don't know, but we already talked about this though. I think there's some cultural aspects to that.
Absolutely.
Like if you black, you can't be lazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta work, and we get ingrained hustle culture. Yeah. You gotta work twice as hard. My parents told me all that all the time. Like, you can't be acting like those white folks. You gotta work twice as hard to get ahead. I don't know, man. It's like intentional rest, but I don't know. That's a lot of rewiring. Like, we're both a part of high achieving black spaces with our fraternities and sororities, and everyone just grinds and works hard, and then you're like rest, you gotta take care of yourself. We're like, you lazy, and and I ain't gonna lie, I think that's still something I need to unwork. Like, I have a pet peeve with lazy people, but then at the same time, who am I to judge why they're being, like, maybe they're resting because they work a lot. I don't know their story. I don't know how hard they are. And I can't control their work output. I can only control mine. But that's something really hard to ungrain. Like, yeah, we got to grind. I got to stay up all night to do stuff. And I think that burnout is real, but I think that's an internal dialogue for sure.
Yeah, but I think rest is going to be super important. Like, I remember I just turned 30, and I was like, man, 30, what the heck? And my therapist was asking me, like, what do you want for 30? And I just was like, for me, exhaustion isn't proof of success, right? And, like, don't measure my value on the hours I burn working. And I think that's key to remember, right? So,
I don't know. I say the same thing. I don't know, I'm 40 now, and I feel like I'm always going to say that. And maybe I'm 50, and I keep on saying I need to rest. And then you look at my dad who retired, my mom's retired, and I don't know. They don't even rest really either. They're bored. So my dad's like, Sonny, honey, you keep him so busy. And I think on the flip side, like, I got to stay busy. I don't know. That's a hard thing. Like, if I'm just sitting down all day, I really feel like I wasted a day. And, like, some people are like, that's good.
It's okay to rest. You don't have to be working every second
of the day. Working, but, like, my wife's like, you're always talking to somebody. You're on a phone. You're always moving. I'm doing a podcast. And, like, you get what I'm saying? It's not work, but, like, doing something, I have a really hard time just sitting there. I can't binge. I don't watch no shows and binge. Because I don't know. It's just, like, I feel weird just sitting down all day.
That makes sense.
I don't know, and I tried it. I don't know.
Some people say that's a trauma response, but we're not going to get into that.
Trauma what? About moving all the time?
Yeah, people who don't rest, like, what are you chasing? What are you after? Like, it's okay to be still.
I don't know, man. What if it's just ADHD? What if it's just ADHD or just hyper? I don't know. It's just my brain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try experiment. I mean, not today. I didn't do it over winter break. I said I wasn't gonna check emails. I checked emails, but
yeah, I mean, it's something to process.
I don't know. Have you ever just literally sat on the couch all day?
Yes. After the break, I decided to not do any. I mean, that's.
I mean, eat and all that, but went to the bathroom. But, like, you sat on the couch.
Yes.
Did you watch a show?
Yes.
What show?
What did I binge over the break? I don't remember, but...
From what time to what time did you do this?
All day. All day. It's okay to rest. You've been working the whole academic semester. It's okay to be still. But, I mean, this is my theme, right? So I don't want to project my theme onto you.
I don't know, but I did some good, though. But sometimes hearing other people's theme is like, damn, maybe I needed some, like...
Yeah. This is just based off of my... what I've observed in myself, what I've experienced internally, emotionally, mentally. And for me, I really want to just measure my success not by exhaustion. So for me, that's alignment, that's fruit, that's impact. So those are things that I'm definitely looking forward to.
So what's your metric to evaluate that? So with burnout, you know that, like, you're sleeping and all that, but what's your, like, I did a good job, I did...
Yeah, so this goes into essentially, like, your quarters, right? So quarter one is going to be January to March, right? So you know how you talked to me about different types of... you did your subcategories, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I did career, spiritual wellness, physical, financial, right? And relationship. Those are, like, my top 5. And basically, I have quarter markers, right? So, for example, for quarter one, my January to March is for me to look at, like, what am I unlearning that didn't work last year or in the previous months that led to my exhaustion, right? And then what am I rooting? Like, what am I planting and what am I rooting? So my quarter marker for me, what I would ask myself at the end of quarter one is, like, what drained me, this quarter, and what nourished me.
I mean, I get it. Those are introspective things. I'm thinking more stoically. Are you writing it down?
Yeah,
like,
journal.
Okay, and then you look at that, like, so for instance, financial goals, you can say I want to make, save enough money. That's a real tangible thing.
Yeah.
Relationship wise, like I want to make sure I go on at least one date night a month, and you can tally the dates that you went on.
Yeah.
But the one that's hard is the ones that are more abstract. So I'm just curious about those abstract ones about, like, but you're using journaling as the abstract ones.
And I think I'm an introspective person, so sometimes it's like in my mind, right? Or I can feel it in my body, if that makes sense. Like, what am I not doing? Tying back to your connecting with other people too, like, having an accountability partner and things like that.
So to get out of your head, though, you're going to put it down.
Yes, journaling.
Gotcha.
My therapist has me journaling.
A real journal.
Yes.
Free write.
Yes.
And so that's going to be one of your, like, metrics. Like we have our metrics for our strategic plan. Yours is being able to go back to your journal and review.
Absolutely.
And then reset and review. In addition to tangible ones that you have on your the financial one, like you got to have money saved or something like that. Yada.
And if I don't meet my quarterly marker, or if I don't meet a specific goal, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. But speaking of quarterly planning, how would your connector theme look like if you lived it one quarter at a time? Because I know you said.
Well, I do the quarter planning like you did, and I have, like, real tangible things like podcasts. I want to be a guest on 15 other people's podcasts, right? So that's where my connector needs to be. Like, I need to listen to someone else's podcast, say, hey, I really like your podcast. Would you be open to having me on as a guest? Or what I've done a lot for connecting is like, hey, let's do a guest for a guest swap. You'll be on my podcast. So I think that connector theme is very realistic. And then going back to the being okay, I have the tracker. I made an Excel spreadsheet with a tracker of my goals. And I did it last year. Well, the Excel spreadsheet's new this year, but I at least wrote them all down. And last year I had like 58 goals. And I can't remember the exact number, but I only completed or obtained 49% of them. But that was good because that was better than zero. So I definitely agree with your notion of, man, like, I didn't get that one done, but I got other ones done. So I definitely don't get... The only percentage thing that really works is like when you're in college, you need a 94% for an A, right? But with your own self, like, I made my own scale. Like, I made my own, what's an A or B, or, like 49% in a class could be an F, but to me, that's like, that's pretty good. That's exactly what I wanted. So, but yeah, I think connector, I have to just go through each bullet and see how it connects. There's some that are very, very obvious to me, and there's ones that, like, I don't know. I had to, like, think about how that theme is obvious. Not obvious, but it's more of an abstract one. But most of the other ones are like, to be a guest on 15 podcasts, I need to connect with other podcasters, right? Like, that is very blatantly obvious. If I want to do speaking engagements, I need to put myself out there to connect with potential audiences to have me be a speaker for engagement. So that's very obvious about connection. But there's other ones I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really sure yet. And I think that's, to your point, I think it's going to be revealed throughout the year. What I do when I get to March, how did I get it? Why didn't I get it? Why is it not connected to the theme?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think too it's important to, like, for me, I told myself I don't want to plan so much. That's why I didn't want to do a vision board. Like, I'm such a planner. Like, I don't know if anyone out there has done an Enneagram or anything like that. I'm like like type 1, type 8 person. Like, I'm so structured, and it shows up in my MBTI and my strong. Like, I don't want to plan so much in my life. I want to allow things to flow. I want to allow God to speak and, make those moves that, I don't see coming, or I don't want to plan my life to a T. I don't want to plan my 2026 to a T, right?
Yeah.
Because then to your point, if I were to write down my 58 goals and I only met, 3, where does that leave me at the end of 2026, right?
I think it's like you said, it's a mindset thing. Like, some people would crash out off of 49%. And so, like, and I'm the opposite. Like, I'm not a planner. So this is an exercise for me to be overtly planned, right? And so I think you're right. For certain people, tug and pull. If you're really an overt planner, maybe you need to be more spontaneous and flexible. For me, I need to be more organized. And so this is also, I look at it as an exercise of, as you said, for yourself. Like, I need to be more organized. That's something I need to be more strategic. And, I'm using this exercise on myself to be more strategic, which I believe does help me become more strategic in other areas. Like making this quote unquote strategic plan for myself has helped me craft strategic plans for other things. Like I'm the alumni president. We made a strategic plan. And I really do nothing. I worked with people to do it, but I'm going through the exercise. It's like almost going through an exercise for myself and being a better planner.
Yeah, utilizing the framework.
Yeah, and so,
That's key.
but some people don't need write everything down.
Right.
Some people are like, that's too much. They already do it enough. So,
you want to, listeners out there, you want to do what works best for you. So if vision board works for you, you do your vision board. If goal setting works for you, you do your goal setting. If quarterly planning works for you, you do your quarterly goal planning. I'm not telling.
Or if all the above, or none of the above.
Yeah. You are your, what is it? You know yourself best, right? So
And experiment. Go year by year. Try something new. Like I'm saying, I'm trying something new.
Yeah.
I remember my first vision board. I'm like, this is corny. I ain't doing this. And I did it, and I was like, I like it. Then I added more, and then I added other people. So try, experiment. We're an experiment. We don't have everything figured out.
Absolutely.
And as I said, you'll figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. But I think the main skill that regardless of what works for you and what doesn't, is that you at least have to have a baseline of self-awareness.
Yes.
Because then you're if you know yourself, then you know what works for you. But if you have no clue, what you're good at, no clue what you value, no clue values, strengths, skills. If you have no baseline of self-awareness, then you're not going to stick with any system, regardless of what it is. So I think that's honestly step one before putting any goals to paper or any images on a vision board is really that introspection. And you get better at self-awareness with, you can hone that skill.
Yes, over time.
Over time, yeah.
I like to say that life is our teacher, right?
Well, I think I've grown tremendously in self-awareness through just my counseling program. I think we had to be self-aware in our own, what gave us transference, what clients, all that stuff we learned in our counseling program. But I was I'm not a counselor, but I think the things I've learned in regards to introspection and all that stuff has been transferable to other areas. So you can learn emotional intelligence, and grow on it and work on it. You can learn empathy, but I think self-awareness is something people have different. I know some people are like, dang, that person is really aware, and there's other people I was like, I don't think that person knows anything about themselves, but doesn't mean that they won't. They could just get coached on it. You know what I'm saying? How do you coach someone to think about we help people learn about being self-aware. You took this assessment, when you see this, that's forcing them to
take a look at it, assess where they are.
Yeah.
Areas of Dr. Stone would say, what are your growth areas and what are your glows?
Yeah, glow and grows.
I think that's key. I think it's safe to say that your theme as a connector and my theme, which is wholeness over exhaustion, is going to guide our behaviors in 2026 and hopefully eliminate some of those pressures. And I think for me, 2026 is not about doing more, but it's going to be about seeing clearer and staying the course of the goals that I set, my quarterly goals, and double checking my quarterly markers.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess your main one is just seeing when you get burned out, and then you're like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I mean, that is what like drove it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I broke things down into subcategories. But yeah, I don't want to overextend myself so much where there may be like boundaries, like saying no, right?
Or I mean, I think that's your main.
Yep.
Your main metric is like, yo, am I burning out at work? Am I burning out?
My personal.
How you burn out in a relationship? I guess I'm trying to think of like ways you burn out in other places. I mean, you can burn out everywhere. Burn out being a parent. So you can burn out in all these areas. Like, work out too hard. You need a rest day. So I guess that's the main thing. Like, am I doing all these different things too much?
Yeah, there's this. I saw this tweet a few years ago, and it said, I refuse to hustle and grind myself out of rest and peace. I refuse to end up at the proverbial finish line with pieces of myself. I like to arrive whole. And that stuck out to me because I said,
I mean, we were track runners, man. We were told we were supposed to run through the line and finish strong. And then you see people fall out when they run the 400. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I said, like that's a lot of unlearning. Like, I don't know. I just never thought about it. Like I'll rest when I retire, kind of thing. It's just like, it's so much in our. But then by the time you retire, you don't want to. You're like you're hurt. Your back hurt. Like I don't know. I just feel like we have to earn that. I don't know. Like it's really hard to think about that. Think about pieces and working and. We keep on saying, I will rest when, I'll rest when. And then you get to the when, you didn't rest at all. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, you don't know how to rest. Yeah. Okay, like I said, I don't know. Like, I know how to rest.
Mm-hmm. Does that necessarily not know what it looks like?
Or
I know. Don't practice.
Yeah, so if I say like, a lot of people know how to do things. Yeah. Don't mean they practice it.
Practice is key.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna try that, John. I don't know. I'm already like getting really like anxious about even trying to sit down for one day.
Yeah. Just process it all.
Maybe I should one day where I don't do nothing.
Listen to this episode back. And process what
I mean, I don't know. My kids won't let me do it. I'd be getting mad at them trying to watch YouTube all day, rot their brain. I'm like, stop watching that YouTube. Do something. Go outside. But maybe we should just have like a straight up like veg day as a family.
Maybe.
But I think, you know what? I will say this. The rest day, I totally agree with rest all day. Don't do nothing like productive. I think that for me, like still like not watching TV all day. Because them kids, them YouTube, that's crazy. So maybe we don't do nothing. We don't go nowhere. But we read a book or we just sit on the couch or take a nap. But like I just don't want them rotting their brain.
Absolutely.
But I'll be honest with you, I could watch football all day. Just on the back screen, yeah. Or March Madness, just had that on the TV all day.
There's 7 types of rest.
What, 7 types?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I encourage you to look it up.
Okay. That's the way I'm going to look it up later. All right. 7 types of rest.
Yes.
There's one of them is like not being, I gotta feel like one is like don't be okay with being lazy. Sedentary rest. Restful mind. I'm gonna look it up, but just give me one of them.
There's physical rest. There's mental rest. There's sensory rest.
Ooh.
Creative rest. Emotional rest. Social rest. And spiritual rest.
Is social rest like leave me alone and be by yourself? Is that social rest?
Social rest may be I guess like maybe an example could be like feeling depleted after like social interactions and things like that. So,
yeah.
Recharging
by yourself, introversion.
Yeah, setting those boundaries.
You think I could go a whole day without talking?
No.
There's a monk retreat in Loudoun County, and I was like, I was going to do it for like, you literally go and do work, but you can't talk the whole day. And over under, I don't think anyone thinks I can do it. And that's one of the things I wanted to do one day. Is just see if I can. It's like literally you go to Loudoun. I think it's all day Saturday and all day Sunday, and you're with people. You just don't talk. It's quiet. And you do stuff. And someone said I would be like, using my eyes and doing sign language. I was like, man, I kind of want to just do it to see how I can like not talk for a day.
You, my guy, are a yapper, and that ties into your theme of connector. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your superpower.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a poll. If I can make the weekend, I get the money. That'll give you some motivation, like, you know, over under if I crack. But
absolutely.
I don't know.
But as we come to a close here, I have one last final question for you. With your theme of 2026 being a connector, what kind of connections or connection are you protecting this year?
Okay, so I think the main thing I'm doing right now is not over promising and under delivering, and also regards to protection is protecting mentorship relationships and employee relationships. So for instance, a lot of young people ask me, you know, Phil, I want you to be my mentor, and then I try to go above and beyond, and like, you know, I need a job posting, and you know, and so I'm gonna be more guarded with, like, I'm not just gonna like alley-oop and connect people and then get embarrassed. Like, you know, like I connected a student with an employer and they ghost them. So I'm gonna be very like almost like very discerning about who I connect with each other. Like, I'm not gonna do email introductions between a mentor of mine and a young person unless I can really vet the young person and know that they would be responsive, and then vice versa. So, you know, when someone's like, yo, I need, you know, do you have anyone in your network that can do this, this, and this? I'm gonna say, yeah, I technically do, but like, almost like, what have you done deservingly to do that introduction, or are you gonna be accountable or follow through? Because I don't know, I hate that, like, that being a connector and then it makes you look bad when that person doesn't follow up, or they do and they're like not, you know, like, it's almost like I'm gonna have a better vetting system. So that's kind of like my thought for connection. Is just, I'm still gonna connect people and bring parties together, but I'm also gonna make sure, like, are the parties willing to work together? Is the parties, are they followed through? Are they accountable? You know, have they shown in the past that they are responsive? Like, if I do an email introduction, that they follow up, because I hate that. I don't know. I haven't thought about it in like real, like a system way, but I am going to be more like, not just readily like, oh, here's my friend's number, text them. I would be like, ask a person's permission. How do they want to be communicated? Like, slow down a little bit. Yeah. Slow down with my connection. Like, hey, how do you like to be connected with people? Oh, emails. You know, like, it's kind of like that. That's what I'm gonna think about. More strategy. And also kind of like, I think what I'm going to do now too is be more upfront. Like, if I connect you with this person, I expect you to respond. If you do not respond, I'm not going to do that again. And I'm saying that in a more like a student thing. Like, if I do this for you, I expect you to follow up and set those expectations before I do the connection, because I don't want someone to feel ghosted and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm gonna take the reins back. This is the part of the show called Shot for Shot. You get to ask any random question. I'll ask any random question. You wanna go first, I'll go first.
You can ask me a question.
Do you have one of your is one of your goals traveling? To go somewhere? Yeah.
Not quite.
Okay, I was trying to think about like, all right, what is one professional goal that you know you want to hit, but you also want to hit that professional goal without burning out?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah.
Like, I really, you know, by the end of the year, I want to, you know, I'm just making this up. Like, I want to, you know, have, you know, 40 appointments or something. But then at the same time, I don't want to burn. You know what I meant? Like, what's one of those kind of like, it's a very tangible one, but you have to also understand, like, you don't want to burn yourself out in attainment.
Absolutely. I think, well, one, that's when I'm thinking about career, right? I don't ever want to pivot or make a move that I know I'm not ready for. So one, I want to say I want to be a great steward of where I am currently. But one of the goals that I do have in mind is to develop and understand what it will look like to become an AI manager in my role of a career advisor. And I learned about that in brief when I attended Afrotech in October of 2025.
AI manager being more like be more fluent in AI, artificial intelligence.
Yes, fluency in AI. And how can I utilize, that's going to be a top skill that employers look for, AI manager, right? So my fluency as a career advisor with AI and artificial intelligence.
So are you studying it, you mean?
I would like to.
Without burning yourself out.
Without burning out, right? Yeah. So I'll narrow that down a little bit later.
Okay, that's a good one. One for me.
Yeah. By the end of Q1, so that's going to be in March.
Yeah.
How do you plan to engage in self-care, or, you know?
Well, I mean, one of my goals is lose weight, so I definitely want to lose weight, sleep better,
Okay.
and I might, like I said, I'm really tempted about trying that don't talk day and seeing how that feels to be just quiet. But I think the main one is like make sure I'm doing stuff toward the health, wealth, you know. You know, I think that's risen to the top is my physical health. You know, I'm not in the shape I used to be and not what I want to be, but it's not more so for aesthetics. Like, I want to be around for my kids and seeing the toll on, you know, my blood pressure and, you know, I'm not diabetic, but I don't want to be diabetic, you know what I'm saying? So I think I need to put more emphasis on my health. And I'll be honest, I did not hit any of my health goals last year. I hit my work ones, all that. And I realized, like, wow, I put so much emphasis on work or professional development, but I went 0 for 4 on my health. That's not good, you know? Like,
you reframe your thinking and maybe put that same sense of urgency.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least have, you know, like I said, even distribution and try to hit. But, like, I had a whole category that I hit one in that category, but I hit, like, all my professional goals that I hit for myself. I don't think that's balance. And I don't think my body is going to do well with that imbalance. So I think Q1, if I'm making more progress on one of my health goals, I think that'll be good for me.
I'm rooting for you every step of the way.
Well, I think my kids need it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be around, be 80, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to hit the black man average.
Small steps.
Like, what's it? 70, the life expectancy of black males. Like, I'm just trying to hit the record. I don't want to live to 100. I already tell you that now, but I definitely want to hit a cool 80. Because I think by then my kids will have kids. I want to be around. I want to be a papa.
Absolutely.
And go to their graduations and go to their. I have these visions of things that I want to be a part of, and usually those visions, the things I want to be a part of, are related to my kids. And it's weird. Like, I always have this real image of my kids, and if they don't go to college, whatever, they're not. But just my image is that they're in college, and I just pop up on them and stay at their apartment, and they're like, "What is your dad doing here?" And I'm just hanging out, just like, no, just for one day. Say, I just want to, you know, put some eyes on you, because you ain't answering your phone, and then I go back home. And so if they're in a school in Virginia, I just roll up there in Richmond or whatever, stay with them for a day. They're like, "Did you get a hotel?" "No, I'm staying with you." "What you mean?" And then I leave. That's that's a real core image that I have. I mean, popping up on them. And then for one day, knowing their friends. I think that's one of the things I always wanted to is I like knowing who my kids' friends are. Like, I like knowing the parents of my kids' friends, but also, like, it's cool, like, oh, that's your butt. Like, get to know, like, Mr. Phil, they call me Mr. Phil and all that stuff. So that'd be one of my image where they're like, oh, you know, "Hey, Bennett, your dad's here again." And I know them, I know the roommates, I know all their names and stuff like that. You know, like, know their community, know who they supported.
Absolutely.
All right, so this is the part of the show called Shout Outs and Plugs. So you get to do shout outs and plugs. These are things that you want the listeners to be aware of, and plugs, ways to stay engaged, or I'll put them in the show notes.
I mean, shout out to Phil. Thank you so much for having me for a second time to season 8. Stay tuned, everybody, for what Phil has coming up. Yeah.
Plugs. Where can people find you that you're comfortable with?
LinkedIn.
Yes.
I hate social media. Social media is so bad for this anxious generation that we're living in. I hate social media. But LinkedIn, Keyah Frazier. Create those vision boards. Create those quarterly goals. Become self-aware and do what works best for you.
Excellent. Well, Positive Philter listeners, this has been a great episode. As you know, every episode is dedicated to the memory of my late father-in-law, Jeff Kirsch. So please consider donating to the Jeff Kirsch Anti-Hunger Fund for all his work fighting food insecurity. If you're a member of the Mason Nation, one of my main babies is the Pats for Patriots. So if you're affiliated with George Mason in any way, please share kindness by sending a Pat for Patriot to anyone. It's been a great episode. Like, subscribe, give a review that elevates the visibility of the podcast. And thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to Positive Philter, a podcast that focuses on family, friends, career, with a little self-help along the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends, and like the Facebook page, Spreading Positivity of Movement. Thanks for listening.